Good morning, everyone watching the Premier League, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are. I am Luminous, and joining me alongside is LD once again, and we are casting Next.KZ versus Dignitas today. Gonna give you
Yeah,
a
Lumi,
moment
I'm
to
pretty.
set all your starboard and whatever else.
It's actually quite cold in my apartment right now. For some reason, the windows were all left open last night. But fortunately, Dota will warm the cockles of my heart. I'm very excited for this game. Even though these are perhaps not the two most, highly rated or ranked teams in the league, it's always fun to see them, everyone in this league match up. All the teams are still quite good, and I'm really hoping the next KZ will be able to bounce back from not really having a good start in the Premier League or playing particularly well in general. So I do have the preview screen up right now for Next KZ, and you can see in the last 10 matches they're 1-9. So like I said, really not having a very good time. The only team they've beaten recently is the recent converts from Heroes of Newerth, the Fnatic lineup, who of course are not doing particularly well themselves. So not the most notable victory. First Dignitas, they are 2-1 all time though, so perhaps they will be able to put it together today.
It's not like that 1-9 is also a false representation of their recent games. I think they're like 3 out of the last 20 as well, so that's not a good increase either. So for that, Next KZ is quite, for the lack of better word, struggling very hard. They've been struggling for at least 3 to 4 weeks now, ever since their sponsor has said that we're not going to sponsor the team anymore, which again, very mind blowing. That's when all the issues started to happen. They perhaps are practicing less and thus not playing as well. We'll talk about their specific playstyle as a bit. In terms of the key heroes, know that the key heroes are not perhaps, I mean, most teams would have key heroes as Shen, Furion, things like that, but those heroes rarely get picked, so it's pretty pointless in my opinion to put those heroes there. These heroes that are being selected, the Morphling, the Queen of Pain, these heroes, Next KZ have known to be picking them very recently. They're not doing too well with them, but that's the heroes they look to when they are drafting.
Yeah, you can't pick them if they're getting banned, and of course, heroes like Invoker, heroes like Furion, heroes like Chen are usually in the ban pool. We actually have been seeing them a decent amount here and there, but certainly not multiple ones of them in a single game, at least not on a regular basis. So, with that being said, let's take a quick look at Dignitas here, as almost all the players are entering the lobby. Dignitas has been doing a little bit better. They're 5-5 so far, and this is just from their last 10 professional matches. Versus Next time, they are 1-2. But with that being said, they've beaten some decent teams. They've beaten Infused. They've beaten the old Fnatic, who's now known as BSB. They've been losing to some good teams, though. Teams like Dare, teams like Epidemic, teams like CLG. I mean, these are not teams that I would really be ashamed to lose to. But they're also not. They're not dominating. They're sort
Well,
of
I'm
in the
not
middle
sure.
of the pack right now.
I'm not sure if Epidemic should be on the list of top teams. No disrespect to Epidemic, but Epidemic definitely a strong team. We casted a game of those or 3 games of that team, and they played rather well. So maybe I would retract my statement right
They took
after I
Dare to
said
3 games, so
That's pretty good.
not too bad. That's for the Pro Dota 2 League qualifiers, by
Right.
the way.
And the 5-5 record might not look so good, but considering that Dignitas' overall record is like 30-30 or 28-30, something like that, they're playing normal. They're not playing like champion mode, but they're playing normal, and normal is better than Next KZ at the moment right now because they're well under playing normal. So with that said, I think, I mean, if prediction can be made and are allowed to be made, Dignitas, just judging from the previous records, should take this best of 3 series.
Yeah, they're certainly the favorites coming into this match. They are also 2-0 in their first match, so they won that without dropping a game. So in theory, they have a little bit of momentum going their way. Yeah, that's right. And the question for them is, will they be able to take care of business now? I'm not by no means am I disrespecting Next KZ when I say that they're not one of the stronger teams in the league right now based on their performance. That's just a fact. They have not been performing very well in general. So if you're in Dignitas's position, you really want to take care of these sort of, I don't want to say easy matches, but the matches that you're supposed to win or that you're not supposed to have too much trouble with, because you have a lot of harder teams coming up down the road. You have to play CLG, you have to play Navi, you have to play Dare, you have to play Complexity. So there's a lot of good teams down the road for Dignitas, and I'm sure there are some other ones I did not mention who are going to be considered more challenging than Next KZ. So it's important for them to, take care of business, win this match. Of course, on the flip side, Next KZ is going to be wanting to pick up their first match and actually, not drop to an 0-2 start because that's not a good place to be.
Yep.
With that being said, I think we can jump into the key points of the match as the match is loading now. Hopefully everyone will load in without too much difficulties.
The key points are mostly from what we saw for the first match of the Premier League for both respective teams. If you guys remember, or if you guys didn't watch it, you guys could catch it on the VODs. During the game between Dignitas versus the Fnatic squad, Dignitas went off crazy on the early game. When game one on a Freezer Night Stalker, at one point he went like 9-2. This is like 10 minutes in the game. And then the second game, they got a Chen pick and just totally going crazy and pushed down towers as well. So one of the biggest strengths of Dignitas is their aggression early. Now, that's not to say that they cannot pick mid to late game heroes. Historically, they've been actually favoring those late game picks as well. Dignitas is a team that if you allow them to go early picks, they will do so. And that match up very well against Next.KZ, who actually favors more of a mid-game team fight. Their carry go-to carry heroes are somewhat clunky and slow. Morphling is one of the heroes they do pick from time to time. So if that's the case, Dignitas could go off early and just put the game absolutely out the rich for Next.KZ.
Yeah, they're pretty versatile, and we talked about how they like to go early game ganking heroes, but like you were saying, they're really not tied down into it. For example, we looked at one of the recent matches versus Epidemic for the Pro Dota World League, and they actually went for a very teamfight-oriented lineup. That lineup featured Tidehunter, Lone Druid, Queen of Pain, Puck, and Ancient Apparition. So they're not afraid to go mid-game if that's where their strengths are going to be. This was after the opponents had picked up Chen and Enigma, so two very strong early-game heroes. So they're not afraid to go for that mid-game lineup, but they definitely prefer to go early-game ganking heroes. And we talked a little bit about that. In terms of Next.KZ, they strongly favor mid-game teamfight lineups, and we see this almost every single game from them. By mid-game teamfight lineups, I mean heroes like Invoker, heroes like Queen of Pain, Earthshaker, Enigma, Faceless Void, Tidehunter. Now, of course, some of these heroes are not exclusively teamfight heroes, but the lineups overall tend to be very teamfight oriented.
Definitely. The carries they pick also are somewhat team fight oriented. The Chronosphere from the Void is one example. Morphling is surprisingly a team fight hero because he can do so much. He could chase at the a victorious team fight. After a victorious team fight, Heroes Spectre is picked up recently by Next.KZ and MTW for anyone that cares. So these heroes actually, or carry heroes, actually fight team fight pretty decently, and Next.KZ love to pick them up on the 5th. So we'll see if they do that today. The drafting continues as we perhaps are going back to the pick ban stage here. We do see Tidehunter and Shadow Demon being banned here from Dignitas. The Shadow Demon ban, no surprise to anyone that is following Dignitas. They've been banning Shadow Demon all the time. They're one of the few teams that actually value Shadow Demon that highly. I do believe maybe some of the Russian teams, they do ban Shadow Demon from quite a bit. I think Na'Vi banned Shadow Demon once or twice in the last couple of times I've seen them play.
Yeah, of course we did see Complexity banning picking Shadow Demon,
yep.
But as far as bans go and early bans, I don't think anyone bans him earlier and more consistently than Dignitas does. So Chen is going to be the reply. It looks like Next.KZ may have done their homework in that regard. Firan going to get banned out as well. So finally a game where we're not going to see either Firan or Chen making it through the picking phase, or the first banning phase. Or Windrunner. Yeah, I'm really impressed by Next.KZ's draft, actually. These are two of the heroes that Dignitas really favors. We didn't have Chen listed as one of their key heroes, but that's just because he's normally banned.
Right.
But of course, Dignitas is very successful with Chen. That is going to leave Lycan in the pool, and he's going to immediately get picked. I like the counter picks here, though. Beastmaster and Enigma, both heroes that can deal with the BKB. Beastmaster with some good anti-push, and of course, between the... and they're going to have some strong pushing power as well, between the Eidolons as well as the Inner Beastar.
Yeah, believe it or not, I think Lycanthrope's survivability isn't that high. A lot of his survivability comes in the fact that he's lifestealing like crazy as he's attacking with immense movement speed, or immense attack speed. But if you BKB him, he's quite easily brought down for a strength hero in that regard. But meanwhile, we have a lot more pushers being picked up, Darkseer and Lesh. Surge is going to be annoying, but not as annoying as that Vacuum in combination of, Pulse Nova, Split Earth, and things like that. So teamfight is going to look quite ugly for both of these squads. In terms of early game, I actually want to favor the early game power to Next.KZ, although these picks might change quite a bit. Lesh, as a hero, can push down tower very quickly early on, so I think the tower advantage would be in Dignitas' favor, though, because they got two great pushers so far.
They do have two great pushers, but of course, I don't think Next.KZ's pushers are too bad either. Eidolons are nothing to sneeze at. Of course, you have Inner Beastar, you have Wild Axes. It's going to be interesting to see. The one thing I'm really curious about, and I think will be the key to this game, is how do they deal with the Lycanthrope? Do they try and push a lot of towers early to punish him for sitting in the jungle? Do they try and ward off his camps, maybe put Enigma offensive jungling, maybe give him some assistance? Do they leave him alone and just try and play their own game, maybe pick up a hard carry? I don't really think you can do that, but we definitely see teams adopt different styles of dealing with the Lycanthrope. What do you think they're going to do, and what should they do?
I think warding is definitely the safest choice and the easiest choice, although that can be easily countered as well with the support saving 200 go for the sentry. Some teams like to lane the Lycanthrope, in which case you want to gank that lane as much as possible. I think perhaps the easiest way, the best way to deal with Lycanthrope is just push towers and out push towers, especially if you're playing on the Dire. One of the things that Lycanthrope players love to do is actually claim that Roshan, but if Dire destroys a 3 tier 1 tower of the Radiant, suddenly you're losing a lot of map control. Lycan loses the jungle for mid-game farm. So I guess to answer your question, sure, let him get off a little bit, but in return, try to get as many tier 1 and tier 2 towers as possible. Choke him down in terms of map control and also ward control, and make sure he doesn't get any stronger than he is during the mid game. I think that's the best way to deal with it. We do see another being picked up here, Crystal Maiden. The freeze by actually a very, very good answer to the Lycanthrope until he gets to BKB, which can come relatively quickly. But yeah, also give you strong counter pushing in terms of a Nova. It's just a very, very good hero overall. If Aura's being picked up, of course, that fuels the Beastmaster as well as Enigma.
Oh man, Dignitas picking up a lot of very strong team fight heroes now. Now we're looking at a Darkseer Vacuum. We're looking at a Wall. Of course, Leshrac doing crap loads of AoE damage, and now we have a Sand King too. All these heroes need a good amount of farm and certainly some levels. So they're starting to look pretty level dependent, pretty farm dependent. But if they can find that space and Lycan gets off to a good start, it's going to be hard times for Next.KZ. I wonder what they're going to go for a carry. We've seen them pick into Faceless Void before. On paper, he seems like a pretty nice way to deal with the Sand King and the Lycanthrope because he can, prevent the Lycan from either using BKB or being able to run away. And of course, that Chronosphere is good for locking down Sand King before he can get off an Epicenter. But this is, not a very strong anti-pushing hero, not very useful in the early game, aside from that Chrono. So I'm not sure if he would make sense. But I'm really curious what they go for with a carry. Assuming they get one. I mean, every time we've cast them, they pick up some sort of carry. Queen of Pain is going to be the choice here. So we talked about Queen of Pain being one of their key heroes. A very aggressive hero, but also kind of squishy. And against this lineup, I don't know how she's going to work because she really doesn't want to be near any of those enemy heroes, but in order to get off Screw of Pains and Chase, she kind of has to be.
Well, I think it will be a fine hero. The only one that's really going to shut her down is that Burrow Strike from Sand King. Until the Sand King gets a Blink Dagger, you're not really going to get a reliable stun on her. The Splitter is a stun, but that's more of a follow-up stun, and if Mantis is playing the Queen of Pain correctly, she should not die too much. Now, not dying and being a very successful Queen of Pain is two different things, but I do believe she's going to have an easy lane in terms of this. Like, who's actually going to lane against Queen of Pain and have advantage against her? I don't actually see any hero so far being picked up from the Dignitas squad is actually going to shut down Queen of Pain. So I think she's going to have a good laning. Maybe Shadow Shaman's the hero that's going to shut him down. But again, this goes back to Dignitas, like what you said. They actually are picking a whole bunch of heroes that require EXP. I do assume either Lycan or the Darkseer, more likely Lycan, is going to go into jungle. So suddenly we're looking in lanes like Lesh, Sand King, Darkseer solo, Shadow Shaman solo. That looks really, really good on paper, but that also means if one lane is getting pushed, you're not going to have too many assistance from your teammates because someone's jungling. The other person is tied down on a different lane. So if Next.KZ decides to push early, I think it's going to work out quite well for them.
Yeah, and even though you see a lot of strong heroes, like in terms of their mid-game pushing, between the Shadow Shaman, the Lycan, and the Leshrac is pretty good from level 1. But Lycan and Shadow Shaman better in the mid game at pushing. I actually think it's Next.KZ who need to be the ones pushing, mostly because they don't want this to get to the mid game. That is a lot of disables. Queen of Pain will not be very happy. Neither will Enigma. I mean, of course, if Enigma gets a BKB up, he should be able to drop some good black holes. But to get there is going to be difficult. They're going to go with Lifesteal as their final pick.
Interesting choice.
I kind of like it, actually. You can put him he can infest the Queen of Pain. Gives him a lot of mobility. If Enigma or Beastmaster gets a Blink Dagger, he can infest that as well. Of course, he can infest the Hawk, so he'll actually have a good amount of mobility. And he's not a bad way to deal with Lycan because he's one of the few heroes that can stand there and right-click. He doesn't give you much anti-push, though, which could be a concern in the mid-game. So I think this game is going to be even more so than other games we've cast, very dependent on the first 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, with this Nyx being picked up here, or Lifestealer as called in Dota 2, this shows off the versatility of Next.KZ. They're not a team that requires to play a certain specific carry. You see that Dignitas is respecting ban the Morphling here. They're known to pick Morphling, Void, Spectre, now Lifestealer. They could play a lot of different carries. So for I guess people that like us that loves the game to see different heroes, well, we're gonna see a Lifestealer this game. RMN is gonna be playing them. Lucky playing the Crystal Maiden exclusive. Holding on to that Enigma, we have Mantis, of course, playing his famed Queen of Pain. Will be going mid with that. And Equal is going to be playing the Beastmaster, going on the bot lane.
Yeah, very nice manners from Next.KZ. They do say good luck, have fun in all chat. And we are going to see, meanwhile, for Dignitas, Leon playing that Leshrac, Come With Me on the Lycanthrope. Czar, who is, I believe, a stand-in, judging by his name anyway, going to be playing that Sand King. Zizo, this is just Zizu playing the Darkseer, and Zimaj on that Shadow Shaman.
Yeah,
we're going to see both teams head towards the bottom lane.
One thing I want to immediately point out is look at the item choice here for Lycanthrope. Most players like to start out with, let's say, a Ring of Protection and a Quelling Blade to actually speed up your jungle. Some professional player may actually come down to player preference, but the Ring of Baseus first is going to be pretty good if you want to decide to go push. This makes me think that Lesh and Sand King will be on the bot lane itself. In terms of laning, you could easily push if the Lesh and Sand King gets advantage with Lesh in the lane. Also, if, let's say, Lycanthrope gets harassed in the jungle, Radiant could easily send in one of the either Sand King or Lesh into the jungle and help him out against a ganker. So I feel like this laning combination for the Radiant is probably the best thing they could have, especially against a solo Beastmaster. What is he really going to do? Wild Axis? That's not going to really cut down Creep Wave as quickly as going to be piled down on this tower.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good of a time Beastmaster is going to have here. While he is pretty tanky, a very decent base armor and good strength gains, good starting HP. Against that double stun combination, I don't think there's any hero that can really look to survive unless they're playing very defensively. So he might, even if he doesn't die, he's not going to be really comfortable farming too much. That's going to give Leshrac and Sand King a good start. In the top lane, it looks like we're going to see a Lifestealer versus a Darkseer. So actually a pretty decent lane for the Darkseer as well, who did pick up a double damage rune. In terms of wards, we're only really seeing one ward right now for the Dire, spotting that bottom rune. So we'll keep Beastmaster pretty survivable. Wonder if he might be going for Inner Beast first based on that. Of course, he could get the Hawk too.
We'll see what he gets up. Meanwhile, on the top lane here, Crystal Maiden is going to be going in the lane. Nova is his first skill choice, and I gotta say, that might actually be a mistake. You see some other support players, such as Miracle, they actually like to hold on that first skill point, or actually just skill it into Bite, because against a Darkseer who has Surge, a Nova slow is not going to be too effective, whereas Bite is exactly what you need. So some Crystal Maiden player like to hold on that point. But revealing the Nova, right from the get-go, you can see Zizo being a lot more aggressive than he really should be. But Crystal Maiden is still doing a very good job keeping him out of lane. That's kind of what you expect.
Yeah, I also want to mention, because we talked about it in the pregame, there are actually 0 wards in the Radiant jungle. There's no attempt to ward off these camps. So I guess they're content to give away farm to Lycan, which is, in my opinion, not a good decision. But if they have something up their sleeves for the mid-game, then perhaps it will work out. But this is very dangerous. I mean, even in pub games, you'll see Lycan come out of the jungle at 8-9 minutes with a Vlad's medallion if he's left alone. Or being close to that medallion, having the Vlad's complete. And at that point, he's looking towards Roshan.
Right, I do believe this is a conscious decision made by Next.KZ. They're saying we would trade farm, that's fine, and hopefully we would actually have a stronger mid-game. Now, I'm not sure if that's the best decision, but that's the decision they're making. With Sand King being, the support in the lane, Beastmaster is actually allowed to get up to the creep wave, very much so, and he's actually hitting level 2 already. He is getting the Call of Wild Bill, picks up Invis Rune, that's going to be really good for him. He could actually just sit right next to the creep wave and grab some EXP as well, although he is completely seen by Come With Me.
I hate to interrupt you, Lumi, but I'm actually watching Lucky in No Man's Land. This Darkseer somehow getting the best of Lucky, eating some tower shots. Surge coming out, Iron Shell. This would be one of the saddest first bloods I've ever seen. I think it might be happening. Lucky getting extremely low. We're going to see the slow coming out. The Surge will be coming back in 2 seconds. We'll be able to salve up, but now Lifestealer taking a lot of damage. This is not how you want this lane to go at the start of the game.
Lifestealer might actually go down right here. Tower doing mad amount of damage, and he is going to go down. Lifestealer being one of the most boss carry player you won't ever see. Sometimes when Crystal Maiden's dying, he's like, oh man, why are you out of position? And you feed. But Lifestealer went in and tried to help him out. Almost made it out alive, but unfortunately gave up first blood. That was somewhat embarrassing. And then against a solo Darkseer, that's not what you want at all. He's up to like 900 already. Now going for a kill on Lucky. Lucky half HP. Does he have the bite? Yes, he does. And it looks like they're going to go on Zizo. Bite, come on, turn around, get that bite. No bite. There's a bite, and can they get the kill? I think they will very, very fast. He's gonna run right into Enigma and feed away the gold that he earned, but still, I think that came out ahead for him.
Yeah, it could have gone worse. They finally got a kill at him, but still, feeding that first blood, I'm sure Darkseer will take that trade. Not only is he getting the gold from the first blood, he's also getting some much-needed levels. Sitting on level 3 already, of course, in that, you know, when you're up against the 2v1 with a strong harasser, like a Crystal Maiden, that's quite good. I do want to mention, Beastmaster tried to harass Lycan in the jungle a little bit, but, you know, not really able to do too much, especially when he's so under level. He's only level 2. He is going for Call of the Wild, so that ward was just there for defensive purposes. Now that he's the Hawk, he doesn't really need it too much, but it'll be helpful in case he doesn't want to use the mana. Of course, in this bottom lane, we are seeing Leshrac getting a lot of farm, already getting close to their Cane Boots. Once those are complete, I expect to see a very hard push on the bottom lane.
Yeah, his skill choice is Diabolic and Splitter, and that makes me think he is wanting to destroy a tier 1 tower very, very quickly. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane here, you can see Mantis doing what he does best, which is controlling the mid lane and making sure that Shadow Shaman is getting nothing in return. However, he's going to find himself a very lucky illusion rune with the help of his teammates securing for him. And I think with that rune, he's going to be right back in this lane, and that's going to be somewhat annoying here for Mantis. But Mantis, well ahead in terms of EXP, will be hitting level 6 very quickly. And with Queen of Pain hitting 6, you can actually get off a gank. Meanwhile, a kill going up on the top lane again. They got one here on the Darkseer.
They got one on the Darkseer. I actually did miss that as well. My apologies. But it looks like Enigma came out of the jungle to help them. And now this might turn into a push on the top lane. There are 6 Eidolons up. They're going to go down soon. He has the Soul Ring, though, so he can keep on bringing up more.
Yep.
They don't have a Ring of Basilius, as far as I can see. I don't think they need one. Ion Shell will do some, you know, it'll help to dispel this push, but it's not going to be enough by itself.
One thing to point out about this gank is not a coincidental gank. They ganked as the siege unit came in. So saying, yeah, we're going to get a kill and get some damage on that tower. Unfortunately, Darkseer was able to reinforce immediately with Teleport Scroll, and that stymied the push.
Uh-oh. In the bottom lane, Equal taking a page out of his Crystal Maiden's book. He's getting caught out, trying to run away. But of course, against the Leshrac with boots, that is not going to happen. Does look like Shadow Shaman's still looking for level 6. Still no wards on him 5 minutes in. Queen of Pain definitely dominating this lane, even with Shadow Shaman getting some help from the allied Sand King, who not only babysat the rune for him, but also gave him a healing salve.
Wow, that's some world-class support right here. And back in the mid lane here, Mantis still trying to control this lane, but the tower on the bot lane will be destroyed very, very quickly. As soon as some creeps starting to tank the tower for the Lesh will be diabolic eating like crazy. The creep wave actually is going to be all the way up to the tier 3 and tier 2 tower in between, and this tier 1 tower will be going down right now. There is a glyph being used that's going to take some diabolic eating charges. Will that be enough? Yeah, Beastmaster coming right back, but he's got to be careful of the Lycan and the Sand King trying to burrow strike him.
Yeah, those are only level 2 axes, and in any case, a lot of their damage is not really relying on summons. Yeah, you have the Lycanthrope, but it's all pretty much Diabolic Edict that's taking this tower down. Queen of Pain did pick up a rune. Looks like it's a regen rune, which will definitely be nice, but it's not really going to enable too many ganks for her, more just for lane controlling. And honestly, I feel like Next.KZ's strategy is already failing. They somehow gave away first blood to the Darkseer. They let Lycan hit level 5. They let Leshrac get an early tower, and of course Lycan's going to love that goal too. He's almost got a Vlad's in 6 minutes in. What are they getting in return? I guess Lifestealer's getting some farm.
I feel like
he's going for Hand of Midas.
I feel like the strategy is sound, to be honest. If they didn't give away the first blood, the top lane will be a lot more difficult for the Darkseer, who would not have the Soul Ring finish, or he would not have Soul Ring plus a lot more gold than he has right now. And I think with that, the tower should have been destroyed by then, especially because the second kill they got on him. But with the first blood, it totally changes everything. The tower is still up at this point, and of course now the Lycan is free farming in the jungle. We are approaching the 8-minute mark, and he's gonna have the Vlad's relatively done. Is it already done on the crew? It's already done because of the tower destroy. So yeah, he's gonna go off crazy. I wonder where he's gonna go next. The common build is gonna be Treads and a Medallion Courage and go for early Roshan. He might actually skip the BKB this game, considering that there's Black Hole and the Beastmaster War. I do believe Necro 3 is always a decent choice, but you know, with Nyx in game, you might actually have to adjust your item a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say Necro 3. I feel like just going for supportive pushing items might be the way to go. They have so much damage already from other heroes on the team. Granted, most of it is magical, but you know, Leshrac can deal a crap load of damage. Of course, you have the Shadow Shaman wards. And they just have such a strong pushing lineup. Once they all start hitting level 7 or so, I don't really see that Dignitas can do too much to stop it. They're very reliant on the Black Hole, as well as the Sonic Wave from the Queen of Pain to really do anti-push and a lot of damage in teamfights. And both of these spells have a very long cooldown. Top tower is going to go down. Zar TPing in. Looks like he's going to go invisible. Will he be able to get away is the question. Zizo going to go down. Zar turning around to try and fight. That's going to be 2 heroes down, so Dignitas really overestimating what they could get accomplished there, and no black hole was used.
RMN not backing out despite he was dropping down to 10 HP, stood his ground and feast away. Meanwhile, we have, looks like Shadow Shaman trying to get something done. Heroics 1v3. In fact, I don't think they should even turn around and fight this. Actually, the support saying that, no, we are going to turn around. Lucky running very low on the mana, and this is what I mean. He's going to bottle up just fine as well. Lucky not getting the physical DPS. He's going to bottle up. He's going to get the cooldown of Hex. There's a Shackle. Hex is going to be channeled. If the Shark's going to do the job, and that's exactly what I mean. You never want to fight Shadow Shaman, even if it's low HP, because he will chain stun. 1v2. Nicely done here by Shadow Shaman.
Meanwhile, Next.KZ did pick up a tower in the middle lane. Queen of Pain gets the last hit. Manta's starting to look pretty farmed now. He's not last hitting the best. He's about 5 creeps per minute, but that's still quite good. Meanwhile, the Roar goes out on the Sand King. Double damage is popped, immediately drops. The Sand King, despite having a very easy time bottom lane and being able to pull the camp, is still not level 6. So like we talked about, Dignitas is very level dependent, and while they're doing decently in the early game, they're sort of throwing away a lead. Shadow Shaman is at level 8, Leshrac level 7, but Sand King's still looking for that level 6.
Meanwhile, Equal gets the stun off in the mid lane here. Gotta be very careful. Actually, Mantis threatening the kill here. Sonic Wave is gonna be used. Blink, a couple more physical hit. No, he blinks backwards. Don't want to get the kill. In fact, very dangerous to blink into tower territory. So they missed that one, but I guess that's okay. One thing that they're doing a very good job of, again, is pushing down the tower. Tier 1 towers at the top lane is done. Tier 1 in the mid is done as well, and bot looks like it's going to get pushed down as well. And that's a game plan that I think Next.KZ should take. If you push down a lot of tower, it doesn't really matter. I guess it does matter, but what I'm trying to say is, sure, they have a farm like him, but if he never runs past the river, as a hero, he's not nearly as strong.
Right, Lycan really wants to be pressuring your side of the map, but it is dangerous for him to do so against heroes like an Enigma, like a Beastmaster. Even Queen of Pain, while she can't necessarily kill him by herself, she's very good at chasing him down, so if he gets low, she could do that. She also has saved up 2,400. I'm very curious what she'll go for. I'm feeling like it might be Boots of Travel, but she could also be rushing a Hex. I mean, what do you think would be a good choice this game? It's not often you see a Queen of Pain with this much money this early on.
Well, we'll talk about that later. We do see Nyx coming into the Queen of Pain. And I think we're going to blink in here. We do have a regeneration rune on Queen of Pain. And it looks like he's going to pop in relatively. A teleport scroll comes in. Ward gets dropped down. Queen of Pain is going to blink backwards. With that, I think the tower is going to go down. A lot of spell investment here. But with that, they're going to get a tier 1. And I think that's pretty decent, especially with the Roshan advantage. Are they going to swing right into the Roche Pit? Or are they going to go bot? I think they are going bot. No, right into the Roche Pit. Wow.
Yeah, no wards for this fight. Also no epicenter. Not even a wall, actually, so Dignitas is fairly vulnerable here. If they get Black Hole, they could be in for a world of pain. Of course, the wards are going to delay this push out mid. They kind of need to kill this creep wave, or at least, clear out some of it before they start going into the pit. Beastmaster scouted out. I believe the Hawk has seen it. Roar going out on Leshrac here. Nice Burrow Strike coming in. Will we see a Black Hole? One-man Black Hole, not the best Black Hole at all. Like him, meanwhile, not sure if Thomas B should be going for Roshan right here. He's going to turn around and fight. Everyone getting quite low. Mechanism popped by the Enigma. Crystal Maiden on the retreat. Looks like she'll be going down most likely. Come With Me barely surviving. Equal getting quite low. Everyone is low in this fight. A lot of heroes still have not died yet, though. How is the Shadow Shaman not dead? I think he's going to go down finally, as we do see Sand King going down in the background. Yeah, overall, Next.KZ is going to pull away with this fight, but a really bad Black Hole almost cost them the fight.
Well, I'm not sure how much they won the fight, considering that they did buy back on the Queen of Pain, and she's dropped down to 600. What's her goal?
No, she didn't buy back. She bought an ultimate orb.
Oh, she definitely died in that fight and bought back.
Oh, did she?
But now they're gonna try to get themselves a Roshan. I do believe they will get it with the Nyx's damage, pretty high DPS with attack speed. Eidolons are coming in as well. They're going to take some damage, but with the Aegis ending up on Mantis, that would be pretty good. Or perhaps they're going to drop it on RMN. But that was a dire advantage for the Roshan because of the buyback and teleport immediately joining back in the fight. The Radiant does not have that luxury, and I gotta say that was a very bold move for Dignitas. Perhaps not the best move. The Wolf trying to destroy the Aegis, no such luck.
Not able to get it though. By the way, for any of the viewers out there, I was informed that Zmaj is Mitch, for anyone who was wondering. So, Lycan throw up now sitting on power treads. Did not opt for the fast medallion. That might have been a lot different if he had gone for medallion early on. Roshan was about a third HP. Come With Me also tried to finish the Roshan, or maybe he was just lagging because he kept on running around and then back into it, not really right-clicking anything. I know he was kind of trying to dodge the black hole, but I think there was other places he could have been going. And then he ended up just running away at the end of the fight, so... with the medallion, maybe that would have been a little different, and this is often why you see Lycan's Russian medallion after the Vlads.
Yep.
Not that power treads are a bad choice, but for Roshan attempts, not the most useful item.
Also, we do see Next.KZ's Mantis We were talking about his item build before this, and it seems like he is going to be going for the Hex. I was going to say Acceptor might be a safer choice, but Hex is probably the best choice, considering that there might be some double mind game going on. Okay, so Lycan says I probably won't get BKB considering there's Roar and Black Hole. And that will be a very, very good time for Korean Pace to say, okay, you're not getting BKB. Hex would be a very good choice. Hex is always a good choice, especially if you get it very early. But most players don't rush it. But we will see a Hex rush here. It might actually work out perfectly here against some heroes such as the Shadow Shaman, against the Darkseer, especially the Lycan. It's going to be good.
Yeah, we are going to see a little bit of aggression on the Darkseer, but of course, without a stun, you're not going to kill him. Especially at this stage of the game. Meanwhile, 4 radiant heroes grouped up on the top side. I'm not sure if a Queen of Pain pops an Invis Room, so she'll be just fine. Gonna be scouting out. Then between the Queen of Pain having the Invis Room as well as the Hawk, they might be able to set something up a Beastmaster, who does get not Beastmaster, Lycan, who does get spotted out. Roar gonna be going out momentarily. Come with me, gonna drop here. No chance of him getting away. You know, even with a BKB, probably would not have lived there because of the Roar. But if he's able to pop it, might have. Either way, he's nowhere near one. Not sure. He's got 1,000 gold in the bank. I think Necrobook would be the choice, especially at this point. If he goes for BKB,
no, he is going BKB. He's going to go for Ogre Axe. I guess the argument for a BKB is that even though, sure, you get stunned, as we may see a little bit of engagement. No. Queen of Pain blinks in here. He's going to be chasing Leon. He's got to be very careful, taking a lot of edict damage. Again, he's going to go down. Mantis, very aggressive. Yep, he does have the Aegis. No big deal. Black Hole here on 2 support. Leon's going to go down. Maybe. No, he's going to be okay, at least for now. Sonic Wave, huge, exclusive, in a little bit of trouble. Those wards doing massive amount of damage. Zhao's going to search himself out. Here comes Lycanthrope. No more stopping him, so he's going to get 1 kill right now. RMN, is he going to try to run or fight? It seems like he wants to fight right now. Gets hexed up. Shaka will be following up. No mana here. There's the Shackle against RMM. RM's gonna go down. Mantis comes right back, doing some damage, but I think he's gonna have to. Haste here for Mantis. Gets an ultra kill, but is he gonna go for the? Wow, he's going for the Rampage. I'm not sure.
Man fight between Queen of Pain and Lycan. She might actually win this fight because that haste room is still active. Oh, he's getting very low. Oh man, already ultra kill. Will he get the Rampage? Will he get
the crit?
With the lucky crit.
Huge crit from the Wolf, and that's gonna do it. Meanwhile, Crystal Maiden being the hero, and she's really the zero here.
You know, I said he might not have that BKB for a while. Gets 1,000 gold in about 5 seconds. So good fight for the Radiant because Lycan got so many kills. Queen of Pain did die. That being said, she's only 1,400 away from a Hex, so that would be a very early Hex. Especially considering how much she's been moving around the map. She hasn't been farming all that much.
She's farming heroes.
Speaking of farming, I want to do a decent. I want to do a farm check now, as this seems like a decent time. 68 creeps on Lycan, 65 on Shadow Shaman, 58 on Leshrac. Meanwhile, for the Dire, 63 on Queen of Pain, 65 on Lifestealer, and 67 on Enigma. So overall, it looks pretty balanced to me in terms of the farm. In terms of the gold graph, it is favoring the Dire right now. And I think that is mostly due to towers. They are up by 1 tower right now, as well as the Roshan.
Right, the Roshan, of course, give everyone at least 200 to 300 gold here. Just another extension of the Hex discussion. The Hex normally would be pretty good, but against heroes such as Darkseer, you could still surge the Hex unit away, and of course the Lycanthrope still run at maximum movement speed, Hex or not. So, you know, with those stuff in mind, may not be the best item, but that's the item he's going for. So, you know, it's not bad. The mana regeneration is also the other key aspect of it, because Queen of Pain is the hero that actually goes through her mana pool very quickly if she wants to farm with, you know, Scream of Pain, and having the Hex regeneration is very, very good for that.
Yeah, we are going to see 4 Radiant heroes grouped up mid, heading top. It's actually going to be 5 now as they meet up with Zizo, and they're probably going to get this tower. I don't think the Dire is going to be interested in defending. They're going to go for a push in the bottom lane. So it will be a tower trade, but it's not a good trade if RMN gets caught out. He's going to go down again. The Lifestealer dying is definitely not what they need. So, you know, being out of position, not really having wards, decent smoke gank from Dignitas, this is going to be a good trade for them. Assuming they push the tower, but the creep wave is not favoring them right now.
Well, Next is pushing bot as well as mid, so they probably may not get the tower destroyed on the mid lane, but they are pressuring it and getting some damage, making the next push a little bit easier. The bot tower would definitely get destroyed, so even losing RMM in that regard may be worth it, at least on the monetary aspect. They're definitely going to be a little bit more ahead in terms of the gold chart. They lose a Beastmaster on mid, and suddenly this might not look like the best choice. We do see double teleport on the top lane here. Come with me, being the boss, and it's going to take the fight. Unfortunately, he might not be in the best place. Next.KZ is going to drop the Black Hole. No, Black Hole in 12 seconds, not coming off cooldown. Sonic Wave being dropped here on Come With Me. Very, very low HP. He is going to get nuked down here. And meanwhile, Mitch in a little bit of trouble. Can we get the second Malefice? Yes, Nova slowing him down. The Surge is running away, but I think with the blinks and the follow-up, that should be enough. Yeah, they're going to get the kill here. And I think with that double kill on the top...
he's only got the Hex. He's 100 away. You cannot keep feeding Mantis like this.
I wouldn't say they're feeding, but they're definitely playing more aggressive than they really need to be.
Whatever you call it, Mantis is getting 1 kill every 2 minutes. He's now 9-2-1. I mean, Queen of Pain, you wouldn't normally think of her as the best late game parry, but against Lycan, she can do pretty well, especially if she gets farm, because she can constantly kite him by blinking away. And she's going to have the Hex. She actually has it now. After this tower, we'll probably go back and grab it if she doesn't do it in the meantime. Sand King's still going to make his way to the top lane. Without him, I don't think they'll look to defend, but actually the Dire are going to play it safe. Mantis is going to be picking up that Hex right now. Yep, he goes ahead and does that. Beastmaster, meanwhile, pushing out the middle lane.
And with the Hex being picked up, let's quickly check out an item slot on the Dire side. We have a Phase Boot on the Beastmaster, as well as a Cloak. We have a Mecha and Solar being completed on Exclusive, going for the BKB, just 1300 go away. Crystal Maiden bossing it up with the Vanguard, because, that's, good item. Lifestealer with a Hand of Midas, and looks like he's going to be going for a Armlet, although quite far away. Only Helm of Iron Will maybe he's having it on the Chicken. Is it delivering it? Yes, it's completed here on the Chicken already. And that Hex being completed just in 19 minutes on Queen of Pain. That's a very, very quick Hex.
Yeah, we talked about Queen of Pain being one of their most important heroes. They do play her a lot. They haven't been this successful with her in quite a while, but I'm sure they're happy about it. And now with the Hex being up on Queen of Pain, you have to be very careful about your positioning. And of course, it makes it safer for her to farm, because if they try to go on her, she can Hex one and blink away.
Yep.
So you've seen her pushing out the bottom lane all the way to the Radiant ramp right here. Which normally you wouldn't be so confident about doing. This is the other side.
Top lane. Engagement happening right now. We do see Rasa in huge trouble. He is going to go down. A free kill being claimed up. Lycan wants to fight, but he's bitten up, and we're talking about how Frostbite is very important. Running away, despite that he is known to be the DPS hero. RMM might be going down. Indeed, he will. Sanking, channeling that ultimate, will be coming in for the Crystal Maiden. The Wolves doing a whole bunch of damage to Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden, despite the Vanguard, will be going down to the Diabolic Edict. Sanking, okay, no detection. Are we going to use the Black Hole for it? No. Exclusive in huge trouble as well. Lycan comes right back to get the kill. Wow, Dire in a lockdown, and now Mitch is going to be chasing. He will have Vacuum in just a bit, surging up, trying to get it. He's going to go right back. Leon gets Roar. He's going to get destroyed. Hex going on Mitch. Mitch will have Vacuum in just 3, 2, 1. Vacuum. He's going to use the Vacuum to prevent the blink. Now, no Vacuum necessary. They're going to focus on Equal. Now, Equal is going to get destroyed. Will they keep chasing? Yes, they will. Surge on Come With Me, trying to circle around on the tower. Medallion Courage on Equal. Equal is going to get brought down. Tower is going to get destroyed. And wow, this game is all over the place. 18-18, 20 minute, and the entire team wipe in the favor of the Radiant. The Go chart spazzing out right now.
I feel like both teams are taking turns, like, giving the game back to their opponents here. Next.KZ was in a great position, and now not so much. I mean, not just the gold graph. Lycan almost has that BKB up. Of course, this Radiant lineup goes late quite well. They've got so much AoE, so many disables, so much team fight, and there's nobody on the Dire who can stand up to that except the Lifestealer. But, Rage is not the longest in terms of its duration. It's only a 5-second, 4.75 second magic community, and of course that's nice, but it's not going to be enough in a prolonged team fight. So I'm a little bit concerned now. And as the momentum starts to swing back the other way, Exclusive is getting close to BKB. Of course, he did hold on to the Black Hole. If they have better position, he hits a nice one. That could totally change the next fight.
I definitely agree with you with the worry about Rage being such a low duration spell. 5 seconds sounds like a lot. It's like a BKB duration, but unfortunately, he's melee, and against the heroes like Darkseer, he can surge whoever Darkseer or whoever the Nyx is focusing. And you're not going to get too many right hits off unless your teammate gets the stun in, which may or may not happen. Lycanthrope also have similar issues, but considering that he moved at 522 movement speed during his ultimate, and with the help of BKB, that will be a different story. So it's hard to say right now. 22 minutes in, who's going to have the advantage for the next 5-10 minutes? We do have more tower and thus more map control up on the Dire squad, but not by much. So. And it seems like Radiant's warding a lot better. I don't even see any Dire wards up. Sure, they have the Hawk, but can't always rely on that.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the vision here, and while the Dire are doing a decent job of pushing the lanes back out, they have absolutely no vision of anything in between. There's no vision of the jungle. There's no vision of the runes. They've either all their wards just went down or they've been dewarded. Unfortunately, I was not able to catch that. But they definitely need to be looking to get some vision up. So yeah, you have the Hawk, but you cannot be completely reliant on that. The Hawk cannot be everywhere at once. Come With Me with the BKB completed. Curious what he'll go for next. Will he go for more right-click damage? Will he go for something like a Necro Book? It's starting to get a little... I mean, it's not late for a Necro Book, but if you want one, you got to start it now. as that item definitely drops off in effectiveness late game, especially versus a hero like Lifestealer.
I think he's going to go for armor. Feast does do physical damage, so having more armor will reduce that. But there is quite a bit of magical damage coming from the dire side. You do have the BKB, sure, but again, you're getting stunned. So I still believe that AC, perhaps Heart is a good choice. Again, getting Heart against a Lifestealer is always, you know, a quandary. It's like, okay, well, he's going to lifesteal more, but you're going to get tankier. It's kind of hard to say. But I think most of the time Lifestealer will be focusing on anyone but Lycan. Lycan's going to be running around, and Nyx is going to be running around. They're not going to be focusing on each other. So with that in mind, perhaps just getting a Heart, or either a Heart or AC is going to be fine.
Well, you say that as we do see Lucky getting caught out. I don't think the Vanguard's going to save him here. The chain stun is just too much. You know, so Vanguard Crystal Maiden sounds boss, sounds nice, but then you actually get chain stun and you die instantly. Only took 2 heroes there. Come with me getting roared. He is able to pop the wolf form though. This could be absolutely huge. Sonic Wave missing. Oh no, and the BKB popped. He could just TP out now. He's gonna do that. TP's to top. Now Enigma's the one who needs to be looking to run away. Is he probably does not? Is he gonna drop a black hole here? No, just thinking about it. Just gonna convert some Eidolons. I'm not sure why Exclusive is not running yet. Okay, looks like he's finally gonna back up.
Oh, Blink Dagger and Burrows try chasing Exclusive. Ultimate being dropped. We have a Hex as well. Exclusive definitely gonna go down. Fortunately for him, already purchased the BKB, the recipe. And meanwhile, Dire using this opportunity to go for the Roshan. A great choice. You saw at least 2 or 3 teleport scope going on the top lane here, and that means that the Radiant cannot do a Roshan jump. And looks like there's no
problem is they have no damage. This is taking forever. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have Lifestealer showing up, but the Radiant is already migrating that way. Unless they give it away, I think they could stop it.
Well, they're doing some damage.
Looks like they might be giving it away. They did use the Epicenter.
Well, Crystal Maiden running past that ward will definitely give it away. The Wolf is going to be scouting out. There's no detection here for Lucky.
And the Wolf's in range again. Will they be able to snipe it this time?
But if the Radiant's jumping in, they're doing it without the Epicenter. Ends the 3v5. They're going to focus on come with me, not using the BKB. It's on cooldown for now. Very low in terms of HP right now. Wards gets dropped down. It looks like Queen of Pain not going to pick it up. It's Sand King picks up the Aegis here. RMN in huge trouble. He's trying to TP out. Will he make it? Will he make it? No, he does not. And now the entire Dire team gets destroyed a second time. Aegis gets stolen. The creep wave conveniently right near the tier 2 tower. This can be really, really bad for Next.KZ.
Everything just fell apart for Next.KZ in that fight. I was worried about their ability to bring him down fast enough, especially without the Queen of Pain, without the Eidolons there, and in fact they were not able to bring him down in time. If Lycan was on their side, they probably would have been, but unfortunately Lifestealer not the best first Roshan. Pretty sure Feast does not work on him, so it makes it a lot slower.
Definitely not, and they don't have any minus armor of that sort. I don't think they even have a medallion. Yep, no, they don't. So it's tier 3 now in dire straits. They're gonna pop the glyph for that. No wards to be dropped down, so that's pretty good. Diabolic Edict is blocked.
Who needs wards? They got Edict.
Yeah, well, you know, Edict. It's okay for now. Beastmaster comes in, gets a roar down. Wow, they're gonna focus on Leon. They do have the black hole. Are they gonna drop it? There's a midnight pulse. Any black hole? There's a blink out here. Don't want to waste a black hole just for Leon. They're gonna get the Leon kill unless he gets no. I was gonna say maybe a 3-man stun into something crazy. No, that's not gonna case. Meanwhile, we have Zar teleporting out. Zar, by the way, we were saying that he wasn't playing that well early on, but during the mid game, he's dropping off some big epicenters.
Not only that, he hit a couple in that fight. I noticed in particular, he hit one really nice 2-man burrow strike right at the end of the fight. It secured them more kills, which led, of course, to that push mid. We now see the tier 3 tower, not looking very healthy. It's down to 400 health. The push is going to come back the other way with the black hole and the BKB. They're looking to be aggressive here. I wanted to mention before I forget item progressions. Lycan is going for a Basher. In fact, I think he has it. So maybe he is expecting to have to 1v1 this Lifestealer. Lifestealer, on the flip side, going for a Talisman of Evasion. So both of them seeming to be more concerned with each other than with the other hero's damage.
Lycan destroys the tower. Now they're going to focus on RMN. Black hole. Are we going to get a drop? Black hole. No black hole. Exclusive now dies. Man. BKB was not pop either. RMN's going to get completely destroyed. Surrounded by 3 or 4. He's trying to TP out. Good luck with that. And I think with that, the mid-racks might even go down. Come with me is going to gallop down the lane with this Basher completely finished. Mantis looking for a solo kill. Maybe he does have a plate mail. Going to be going for Shiva's Guard. Maybe Assault. We'll see. Leon's going to get Focus. Hex. Yeah, he's going to get Hex. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Sonic Wave is going to do quite a bit of damage. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but he doesn't have an Aghanim's. Is he going to blow it? He is. Uh-oh. Now the push is coming mid. They don't have a Sonic Wave to stop it.
Oh wow, that was absolutely
close.
No, he's gonna blink out just fine. He has a regen, he's gonna immediately get back to the base. And meanwhile, Tower is gonna get destroyed. Crystal Maiden, Vanguard, again, not enough to actually save her. She's gonna go down, maybe, no. Wands up, and the Wolf doing some damage. A Blink Shackle on Mantis. Mantis will go down as well. Wall gets dropped. Really, no one running into the wall, so perhaps not the best. But the Rax now in trouble. War gets dropped. Not gonna be enough to stop the Lycan throw. Lycan, focus on the Rax. No, he's gonna run now here. Here comes the Black Hole. Do we have the Black Hole? Please, for the love of God, drop a Black Hole. No, he gets Hex. BKB not used again. And now Kim be still alive. And I think he's going to be okay. Are they going to run right back in? Yes, they are. Beastmaster doing some damage with his access. RMM comes back alive. Brutal Strike on Zara. Sandstorm. Sandstorm, he's going to pop it for now. It's going to be able to blink out just fine. Blink. For the love of God, please blink out. No, they're going to focus on Equal. This team fight, never ending. Wow, 2 hits here from Lycan Throw. They're going to do the jab. And Rax finally will go down here. Dignitas, it was tough, but they are going to get that Rax.
It was an ugly win, but it looks like it's going to be a win here. I mean, of course, there is some potential for Next.KZ to come back, but they do not look like they have it together. They're still waiting for a Black Hole that probably should have happened 4 or 5 minutes ago, if not longer. And it's not entirely Enigma's fault. He's been getting some bad luck with those bashes recently, but, you know, if you pick Enigma, you expect Black Holes. Unfortunately, he just has not been able to deliver this game. But the Radiant lineup pretty good at kiting him. Of course, you don't want a Black Hole, a BKB, like him, as you won't really be doing too much damage to him. So he's been trying to hold on to it, but then Lycan bashes him, and then he gets hexed or vacuumed, and then he's dead.
Well, I don't know. I think you have to BKB, or Black Hole to BKB Lycan. Sure, you're not going to be doing that much damage, but on a similar low, he's not going to be doing that much damage to you, which I think that's more of a concern right now. And Lycan, about 1,000 go for that Sacred Relic, if that's what he's going for. Perhaps this game will be ended before then. And this tier 2 tower is the last tower remaining, but we do see Crystal Maiden and Beastmaster reinforcing. At this point, though, the Roar is more like a one-hit wonder. Beastmaster is a hero if you're, you know, on the defensive. Your Roar is your best tool, and your aura is decent. But after that, your hero just drops off in terms of usefulness.
Yeah, he was forced to pick up a pipe because of all the heroes besides Lycan doing so much magical damage. But of course, that pipe does nothing for you versus the Lycan. So one of the benefits to not concentrate too much on one type of damage, split out between the physical as well as the magical. Also wanted to mention, one of our observers did catch that Sand King also got the last hit. He not only jacked the Aegis, but he also got the last hit on the Roshan. So nice. That was even more gold going the Radiant's way. And that's part of why you see them with a pretty commanding, it looks like a 9 or 10k gold lead here.
And with a 10k gold lead, let's see what they have in terms of item. Abyssal Blade is finished. I almost said the other name. Vanguard on a Mitch as well as a pipe. And then we have a Blink Dagger and a Veil of Discord, of course, with the Aegis that he stole. Zara is still alive with that. Necro Book 2 on Shadow Shaman in conjunction with the Black King Bar and a Blink Dagger. And finally, a Soul Booster on Leon, as well as Drum and Face.
Yeah, everyone looking farm, even the supports here. Darkseer, even on the hard lane, has the Vanguard as well as the pipe. And, you know, of course, all the supports. Leshrac looking quite farm. Sand King looking quite farm. This is what happens when you get all those early towers. You get the items even on your supports. Meanwhile, for the Dire, we're not really seeing too much. Just some more bracers on Crystal Maiden. In terms of the Lifestealer, I believe he's still working on that Sanj to complete up his Heaven's Halberd. Or maybe he's going for BKB. He might feel like he needs 20 seconds of magical immunity to do anything.
One thing I want to point out for this next 75 exclusives, gotta watch his positioning. Dignitas has been doing a very good job in terms of disabling him before he drops the Black Hole. There's a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Shaman, so do look towards him getting blinked upon. And here we go, Teamfight's gonna drop out Black Hole. Maybe finally a Black Hole. That's gonna get some people, yes indeed. But will it be enough? There's just 2 tank at this point. Come with me. Gets burrowed. Oh, that's it. That's it. Crystal Maiden drops an ultimate, but that's just for the lags, for the show. Everyone dies. GG's gonna get called. And that was a 32-minute victory in favor of Dignitas.
Yeah, you know, Next.KZ, I feel like they had this game at some points, or at least they could have made it a more competitive game, and then their position was a little bit off. Some bad luck with bashes on the Enigma, not the best positioning, and then next thing you know, you're losing Rax. Against this many pushing heroes, you just cannot make a mistake because they can punish you like none other.
Yep. This Rax, this throne's not going to be long for life. Abyssal Blade. I almost forgot the name of this item because in my vocabulary, no such thing as Abyssal Blade. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Dignitas wins game number 1. This is a best of 3 series, so game 2 is coming your way momentarily. Don't go anywhere. Hope you guys enjoy the broadcast.